Hey guys, just doing an unboxing for these. Happen to be an Auxbeam H7 low beam. They're supposed to be like 6500 Kelvin LED bulbs. Heard quite a few reviews for these guys. They seem pretty good. So we'll open up the box here. So as you can see, here's the box. So we've got Auxbeam, as you can see, H7, and it does say COB, which is great. That means chip on board. So that's supposed to cancel out any error warning lights. 12 to 24 volt operating current, and it's 72 watt, and in this case that happens to be 8,000 lumen. Now this is for the pair together. I love how they do that. That is not per bulb, so it's 4,000 per bulb. And so we'll just get this open here, and of course I'll have a link in the description so you guys can check this out. You know, I see a lot of people that these or give them overly enthusiastic reviews. So looks like a pretty basic manual here. First impressions, they look pretty legit. This is supposed to be aircraft aluminum in here. They look a little cheap, but they're not too bad. It says Auxbeam, has a pretty premium feel here. Higher quality than I was expecting. The lead, this cable, it's pretty thick. You know, it's nothing too cheap feeling. And this, of course, for the H7 is what will actually connect into my existing car system. Packaging is pretty basic. I saw some reviews, you know, some people, some of these other brands, at least they spend a little bit more on packaging, but you know what, if it means that they can get you, in this case, you know, it'll have to be tested, but if it happens to be a quality product, then I'm okay with them skimping on the box or kind of the extras if it means being able to deliver, you know, a better quality product for, you know, not a ton of money. This happens to be the adapter for the H7 right here that goes in. So this clip, in order to be compatible with H7, it actually, so I loosened it already, the tab was here. They turn and they actually slide off of the bulb. And so this adapter actually gets installed first, as if you already put the headlamps in. You know, you'll insert this adapter, you'll put the metal prongs on it, and then the LED will be slid in like this. So now this has been inserted into the headlamp. You actually turn the LED headlamp here clockwise, and it would click it into this tab. So a pretty slick approach. I was skeptical because I didn't know how in this case, the H7 uses metal prongs, so that's how they got around that. So this is interesting. It looks like a lot of much smaller LEDs in here versus, you know, a couple very visible separated ones. Has them on both sides, and it does advertise 360 degrees of light for that reason, having the cutoff at the edge of each of these sides. So again, yep, we'll just do a follow-up video and I'll show you guys the install process. So what you can see here, this is part of the hassle of HID. So there's a couple relays here that you have to hook up, and ultimately they lead to a ballast. In this case, it is a slim one. This is, again, you can see from here, it's the Kenzen. This happens to be a slim HID ballast for these, but it is a lot of extra wiring. It's more connections, moisture, you can have other issues. Now, what I usually do, there's a little bit of remnants here, but a lot of these connections I did put a lot of electrical tape over just to protect them from the elements. But this is a little bit of the hassle with the HID. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to replace this, which is the driver's side low beam. I'll just shine the light here. So this is the driver's side kind of daytime running light, low beam right here. And that's what I will start by removing. The first step here is this dust cap, and then we'll go from there. This is how the H7 connector works. There's a little ridge, as you can see, right around that plug. There's a little kind of indented area, and that's where these metal clips actually come up. They press into that recessed area and hold that flat portion against the metal that you can see there. And there's just a couple of, we'll say, catches up above. This is hinged, these springs from the bottom, so they clip into the top, and that's what seals the piece in there. Now this is actually my HID bulb. I'm going to put this away, and then we'll try to reinstall now the LED. My HID bulb, another thing to note, guys, I'm touching the plastic right now, so it does not matter, but you always want to wear with the HID and with the halogen latex gloves, because any dirt, oils, or residue on this bulb will actually shorten the life, which is another kind of tricky thing about these style bulbs. So this may be a huge upside to the LED. It does not have any of these downsides as far as oils. Well, it doesn't matter if you touch them or not. Hopefully it'll be an easier experience putting it in, so we'll try that out now. I do have the dust cover off, and so now we're ready to insert the LED. The black plastic there, you can see what I mean with the plastic clips. They fit into the ridges here. The tab on the H7 is the most important. That dictates the orientation. So in this case, the black tab is on the bottom. This is inserted correctly, and now what will happen is the LED actually then gets inserted into this plastic adapter. So we'll do that next. Okay guys, so as you can see here, the LED has been inserted. You can see it's clamped down. The rotation here is it needs to be placed in and turned 45 degrees clockwise. So this Auxbeam logo is facing upright here. I slowly inserted it and turned it this way until it clicks, and then it should be nice and sturdy. As you can see here, that there is a lead from the LED headlamp here. And here is the receiving end from my car. The only thing that concerns me here is it doesn't seem like they did a very good job of labeling if there's some sort of polarity. Maybe it doesn't matter, but usually with these things it does. So I'll have to report back. That might be a little bit of a annoyance here. But then basically all that needs to happen is just plug these in like so. And it should be set. I'll give it a try, and if I need to flip it, then I'll flip it as needed. And okay guys, sure enough, I did need to flip it, but it looks like it works pretty freaking well. I mean, it is really hard at night with these. These don't really do it justice, but the light color is very pure white. I mean, so this side is LED, and this side is my HID. And you can see that the color notes are extremely similar as far as spectrum. As far as the naked eye is concerned, you can look at the trees here, and it's very hard to tell, but the tree on the right, you can see is a little bit more blue, and the tree on the left is a little bit more white. Definitely more of a pure white coming from the LED than the HID, but both are insanely bright. Have to say I'm pretty impressed. I was skeptical, as you can see here. I'll have to do a little bit more testing, but fairly good cutoff of the light. This is the HID here, it's very defined, so I'll have to see once I get on the road what that looks like, but pretty good. And again, the brightness is spot on. This does come with a fan. I was worried that the fan was going to be too loud. Obviously, I'm speaking up a little bit now, but the engine is running. And here is the LED. I don't hear anything. So as far as knowing that these were actually LEDs and that they actually had their own independent fan, I couldn't tell you. Dead quiet, can't hear it over the normal, noise of the engine, and they have a much slimmer profile. Because these wires are so low profile, because it just plugs right in, I'll actually be able to place, in this particular case, some models that may be a little bit different. You guys may see something else on yours, but I know some people complained about the fact that they couldn't put the dust caps back on, but we're looking straight down here, and as you can see, it still makes it inside of the actual cutout here. So once this gets wrapped up, you would never know that this is anything other than, like a factory HID. Definitely very similar fitment to the actual halogen. So super happy, and I'll just give you guys one last clip here with it all sealed up. So as you can see here, guys, I think what I had in my favor was that my particular model came with both a factory HID and non-regular halogen. So in this case, you can see that the cap is actually adds a few, let's say about a 1/4 inch to it as well. So once it's all buttoned up, like it is now, you really can't tell at all. And that's it, guys. That's the installation. It's pretty straightforward. It was a lot easier than the HID. You can check out that video on my channel as well. I would say both. At the end of the day, to each his own. Everyone has their own preference. Some people may swear by HID and some people may swear by LED, but I feel like the market has evolved so much that there's a pretty good chance now that you'll be able to find a setup like this that works, meets your needs as far as brightness, luminosity, color that you guys are looking for at an affordable price. That's right on par with a lot of the HID kits out there. Closing thoughts are, if you guys are looking for a similar color to the HID, 100%. In this case, I had HID was 6000K, and I believe this is 6500. So a lot more white, barely a blue tinge, very similar. Still like a super modern look to it, much better than the kind of, the yellowed, not as intense light that you're going to get from halogens. So I would definitely recommend them. Okay guys, so as you can see, I'm on a relatively lit road, but the beam pattern is very wide, and I can see a pretty good ways down the road, as well as the signs themselves you can see are reflected pretty well. Very high contrast because it is a white light. Very easy sight picture here. It's easy to see, upcoming potholes, things that are both close to the vehicle as well as a little bit farther away, which is awesome because I do not have fog lights equipped on this vehicle whatsoever. So what you're seeing is just purely from the headlights, and it's great. I am very impressed by the beam pattern. Very bright color representation even at night. I'm finding it's a lot easier to see pedestrians and people along the sides of the road.